Hello and welcome back everyone to Legacy of the Duelist, and in this episode we are starting with VRAINS. Yes, we have finally made it over to the link summoning, the link summoning portion of Legacy of the Duelist. The new stuff that got added as of Link Evolution. We are Playmaker, and we are going through the tutorial on how to function with link monsters. And as annotation Gerdat mentions here, the VRAINS campaign has literally no story elements in it. This is a huge problem because the link storyline is actually significantly more complicated than I know how to explain because I haven't fucking watched it. So it's going to be up to us as commentators to figure out how in the fuck to explain what the hell is going on. Firstly, Playmaker for the tutorial is actually running a lot of older cards, specifically Turbo Booster, Card Trooper, Galaxy Serpent. The reason why is because, well, Playmaker's entire deck style is specifically about using a bunch of lower power monsters in order to link climb. We'll get into what link climbing is through this tutorial. Knight of Hanoi is, showing off that we're going to be fighting off against a relatively high power dragon monsters through most of our rival matches.
The powerful cracking dragon will inflict damage every time it attacks you. You should do something about it.
Yes. So, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be showing off what Playmaker's starter link combo actually is. It relies specifically on Link Slayer and Graveyard effects in order to start the link climb, and then use a bunch of lower power level special summon effects in order to get into the link monsters that are the actual powerhouse, specifically Decode Talker. You will see us summon and rely on Decode Talker a fuck ton throughout Playmakers duels, to the point where, yes, Decode Talker actually has a summon animation. It is not the most prevalent of the summon animations that we're going to see. No, there's another link monster that we will show off that has a summon animation.
Time to link.
Yes, we link off our what is it? It's not Digitron. Whatever. We linked off a normal monster to bring out Link Spider. We use Link Spider's effect in order to special summon Galaxy Serpent. You'll notice that Playmaker actually has the ability to go into relatively powerful synchros using his graveyard effects. We aren't going to be showing those off for the most part. Instead, most of what we're going to be showing off is us depending specifically on Decode Talker.
Okay, now here comes the link climbing into
Decode Talker.
You got something to say?
And yes, now we're also going to summon Scrap Archfiend.
Nice.
By using Galaxy Serpent and Link Slayer.
Yeah, it's nice to have a variety.
Although it is, and the archetype that Playmaker is entirely dependent on having a variety. This tutorial is very confusing to me, to be perfectly honest, because it feels like we've had game on board effectively like 4 moves ago, and we're just not cashing in on it yet.
Good lord, man! I mean, we've summoned what? Like this is the 10th monster that we've summoned this turn.
Let's see, Decode,
like,
Proxy.
Let's just get to the fucking point.
Also, one of the other monsters that Playmaker specifically is running the archetype called the Code Talkers. They come with prefixes and Yeah, they come with prefixes, and every single one of the Code Talkers has got different effects depending on what arrows they are pointing to. A Decode Talker gains 500 attack and defense for every monster that it's pointing to. And Code Talker, I think, has got I don't fucking know what most of the Code Talkers do. Okay. I know that one's a negate, one's a much bigger attack boost. And
you're ready now.
Okay.
This is fucking ridiculous. Like, okay, well, first of all, this is easily like the most events that we've had take place in any of the fucking duels that we had, and to think that this is just a tutorial.
Yeah, it's why that for a majority of the time, while I was playing Legacy of the Duelist, I did not ever bother to learn how to do link climbing, and it ends up biting me in the ass a little bit later on. However, slow burn still is something that I can actually rely on for most of the campaign. So this is actually one of our first secondary characters, the Gore, and he goes through a relatively interesting evolution where his first archetype that he is focused on is the Gokis, which were so stupidly overpowered that they ended up being our first majorly successful link archetype, and then he ends up switching from Gokis to Dino Wrestlers, which were so stupidly underpowered that they have exactly one viable card in their entire archetype. Also, Playmaker is very dependent on Signet Universe, not necessarily for the attack bonus that it grants his Link monsters, but actually for the recursion that it allows for his deck to go through. I probably should have set Call of the Haunted as well, but.
Well, we haven't sent any monsters to the graveyard yet.
But we're going to, Mr. Cloud. We're definitely going to during this next turn.
Right, the next turn. So you're saying that it would have been better if we had it on the field, so then we could just activate it right now and then attack him because he's open.
Yeah. So we summon Link. Okay, I guess we're going to instead just continue to set up our back row instead.
Is it a bad thing that we just went through this entire tutorial duel on how to link summon? I still don't know how to link summon.
It's okay, Mr. Cloud. For a majority, yes, I want to activate my Cyber's Beacon. For a majority of the campaign, past Gerdat also does not know how to link summon.
So I've gotten the following. Link monsters come from the extra deck. They're usually Cyber's type.
That is not true.
They have no defense. Well, I mean, this guy's Cyber's type.
Yes, Playmakers Code Talker archetype is almost entirely consistent of Cyber's monsters.
That Lego creature also is a Cyber's monster.
Draco net effect to bring up Bitron.
Link monsters do not have a defense value, which is the first card type of its kind to actually omit one of the things. I mean, okay, so Ixie's monsters said they don't have level stars, they have ranks. Link monsters don't have a defense value, they have a link value?
Yes, they have a link value.
And then finally are the arrows, because for the longest time in Yu-Gi-Oh, it was not a thing to strategically put your monsters in the zones that allowed you to get the effects that you wanted, but now they do.
That is also not actually true. Believe it or not, Cyberdark Impact, which was released during the early half of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, very specifically was trying very, very hard to make zone placement something that was actually relevant to the game. It was minorly successful in some aspects, but very unsuccessful in most.
Well, I mean, because I remember there were trap cards. I think one of them was called, like, Royal Flush, that said destroy every card that's in this column.
No, actually. Royal Flush allows you to destroy every spell and trap card your opponent controls if they have a full spell and trap card zone. They have all their spell and trap card zones filled.
Also, a devastating effect, albeit situational in its own right, that does not necessarily correlate to the positions of the cards on the board because of the shared field aspect. That, you know, there are effectively 4 rows, 2 monster card zones and 2 spell and trap card zones, and there are 5 columns because you can have 5 spell or trap cards and you can have 5 monsters out at a time. But the game with stupid cards, by the way, I still think it's a stupid mechanic, and that's why, thank God, you know, better games like Magic the Gathering never went for that. Is like, oh, you gotta. No, there are games like that though, where I don't know, Risk. Like board-style games where you got to pay attention to where the shit is on the board.
Now, Risk not so much,
chess.
but the reason why Magic doesn't have zones specifically is because it straight up doesn't work with a good portion of the decks that people want to play. Like tokens, just straight up does not work with zone limitations.
Right. It's because why put limits? Why, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Says, yes, there is a creature and a spell limit. Magic says, no, there is no limit to the number of permanents you can have on your board. You could fill up the entire table and have cards spilling over the edge if it comes to it.
So, yeah, what I'm attempting to do here is actually use a Decode Talker's effect in order to negate Bear Hug, but I can't because Goki Suplex is preventing me from actually doing that. This is what a very significant mechanic in today's metagame called a chain block, and VRAINS doesn't actually lean on chain blocking all that much, but it does lean on it. But it does lean on it enough to where it becomes a significant annoyance throughout most of the campaign.
So, chain blocking. That sounds like a term that players came up with to describe an action.
It is
but I don't know
not.
what it
Chain
means.
blocking is in fact the official name for it.
But what is it?
If you activate 2 mandatory effects in chain, your opponent does not get the opportunity to resolve to the first effect on that chain.
I think I remember that. Yeah, that's been a thing forever.
It has been a thing forever, but it ends up coming up a lot in VRAINS. Because all these archetypes are built off of 1/1.5 card combos, and they end up stacking effects on top of each other in order to resolve relatively long chains.
So it would behoove the player to whose turn it is, who gets 2 or more mandatory effects off simultaneously, to make sure that Chain Link 1 is the priority. It's the one that you definitely don't want your opponent to interfere with, and Chain Link 2 is the effect that you can subject to interference.
Yeah. But
to use that strategically, like, what the fuck?
Alright, call the Haunted to bring
No, I remember...
I'm pretty sure we're going for our decode, right? Or are we
I don't want to make this entire video about, all the ways that Magic the Gathering is better than Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'll give you another one. Magic the Gathering actually has effects that says, counter target spell on the stack, because the stack is open and accessible by any card, as long as the card says that it has an effect and it applies. Doesn't matter if it's Chain Link 1, because in Magic you don't have to necessarily respond to only the very last thing that happened like Yu-Gi-Oh does, because Yu-Gi-Oh has a fucking short-term memory problem.
Change Boxer to defense mode, and then have Encode Talker inflict piercing on it. There we go. We have successfully defeated the core, giving us access to some of the Goku stuff. Yay! In the next episode, we'll continue on with VRAINS. Be safe, everybody.
Wow. A whole new world where I don't understand what's happening.
Well, we gotta retrain a Summon Skull, so there.
We got a retrain of Summon Skull.